Get a little bit of gasoline. You come down, I'll set your place on fire. Let's get higher. You come down, I'll set your place on fire. Let's get higher. Get a little bit of gasoline. Welcome to another life scene. I'ma make it burn.
Well, good Wednesday afternoon, guys. Just got off work. Figured we'd come over here to the shop. I don't know if you can see me very well. I think you're a little low. There you go. Anyways, figured we'd come over here to the shop, do a little work on the late model. Before we get into that, I know a bunch of our subscribers also subscribe to Fleming Family Racing. Really great channel. You need to go check them out. Miller Time Motorsports, you need to go check them out. He's working on his car. He's put out 2 videos in 2 days. He's doing awesome. But anyways, what I wanted to talk to you about is Fleming Family Racing. Y'all know Skyler from Fleming Family Racing. I got some news today that he's not doing so well. He's kind of not feeling too good. He's got a little issues that he's dealing with. As you know, he's going in for surgery on the 21st, I believe it is, he said. So he's going to be out for surgery for a while on that. But in the meantime, he ended up coming down with something. He's not feeling very good. He's really kind of struggling right now. So just finished talking to him not too long ago. I'd just like y'all to keep him in your prayers. I know I'll be praying for him. Hope that he gets to feeling better real soon, and hope that his surgery goes great, and wish them nothing but the best. The definition of life to me, and it's kind of a tough deal, but the definition of life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. You plan to do this, something else comes up, you just got to go with it. That's life. You got to stay strong and deal with it. And I know Skyler's going to be just fine. Just send him out a prayer and tell him you wish him well. Go over to his channel. Tell him hope everything goes great with what you're dealing with right now. Hope everything goes great with your surgery. Look forward to seeing you soon. He's going to be right back. I mean, the guy lost a finger and he's still ticking right along. So I think he's going to do just fine. He's a good, healthy young man, and he'll be all right. So, yeah, so like I said, go over there and check them out. Fleming Family Racing, FFR. They've got a Facebook. They've got YouTube. Look them up on Facebook. Friend them. Hit them up on YouTube. Subscribe to their channel. Miller Time Motorsports. Old Sea-Dog over there. He's learning as he goes, and he's working on the race car, and car's really turned out looking good. So go check both of them out. Miller Time Motorsports, FFR. So now let's get right into this video. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to work on the late model. Let me get you set up here. Kind of get you adjusted in there a little bit. Hopefully you got a good enough view. I think that ought to do it. Let me bring you around this way a little bit. It's kind of hard to see what you're looking at on the tripod here. Okay, anyways. So, what we're going to go ahead and do is start dressing this motor out. Like I told you, we're going to just go ahead and put this back together as a late model. So I've already put the bottom pulley on. I need to get more bolts for that because these are a fine thread. I've just got one just kind of holding it on for now. But we're going to get in here and put the water pump and the water pump pulley and stuff on. Make sure when you're doing your water pumps that your surfaces are nice and clean and all that. I've gone through and already cleaned them, kind of sanded them down. I like to use the gasket plus a little RTV. Some people say just clean and the gasket. I kind of like the RTV and gasket as well. So I'll go ahead and run in there and grab the new water pump, and I already set the pulley on it. So I'll go get that and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we got the new water pump. Already got the pulley on it, which just makes it heavier. So we're going to set that right here. If it'll stay there. We got the new gaskets. Now when I say I like to use the RTV and the gaskets, it's not that I'm using a whole lot of RTV, I just basically want it to hold the gaskets in place while I put it on. So we got the gaskets. Very little bit RTV here. If the RTV is any good, which it don't look like it is, but it's not. Get our little handy knife. So when it gets dried up, we usually plugs up this tip. I'm going to use what I have, so we're going to cut a hole in the side, smear it on there a little bit. Got a little hole in the side we'll use. I'm going to put a little on. I hate RTV, it gets all over you. But it is what it is. So then we're just going to smear it onto the gasket. Make sure you go around the bolt holes, because I don't know if you know, but water will come through them bolt holes if you don't have it on there. I'm sure if you've ever taken the water pump off and taken the bolt out, water pours out of it. So, now we're just going to take a bolt. We're going to set this right into the block. Put that gasket onto there and just kind of let it sit there and tack up a little bit. Get the other bolt. Make sure we're still lined up good with the bottom hole. Like that. Get it pressed on there good. Then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Set that bolt in the hole so we know we got it ready. This thing ain't gonna want to stay there, so we'll set it down on the ground. Do the same thing with the other gasket. Kind of smear it on there. Get around both bolt holes. Cross that. Okay. Take the gasket, put it on there. Put the bolt back in for now. Line up our gasket. Grab our other bolt, make sure we're lined up there. Started. And we're going to let that tack up a little bit while we smear some on this outside edge. I'm sure you guys probably already know how to do all of this. It's kind of self-explanatory. Just like that. Not a whole lot on there, just enough to get it to tack, and so we can get that in place without it falling down. Now we're going to get a rag and clean the fingers off. one thing that's kind of different is not having the toolboxes in the shop, is you got to go in there to get tools all the time. The box do roll around, so I could roll one out here when I need, and then I wouldn't have to keep getting up and going to get stuff. But I kind of want to keep it clean in here and not have a bunch of stuff cluttered up everywhere. So that hasn't been on there very long, and it's already pretty much tacking up because it's warm in here. I don't like how that bolt felt like it was screwing in there. It must have some stuff in those threads. So it'll be good. Now we're going to put the bolts back in the water pump. And we're going to grab the water pump, get it up here into place, get it flat, holes lined up, start the bolt again. Started in there. That one started in there. Now your gaskets can't move around on you. So, once again, gotta go get something else. Now I could use my impact gun, but to where I'm using used bolts that I've had around, I kind of like to use a ratchet. That way I can feel if something's kind of getting funky with a thread or something, so you don't strip out the threads in the block. That wouldn't be good. So we're just going to use a socket and a ratchet and take our time with it and do it and make sure we're not causing anything to strip out. I just kind of snug it up. Work both sides because you don't want to get it in a bind. How you guys like these aluminum pulleys? They're pretty nice, aren't they? So they're actually a reduction pulley. So the bottom one's smaller than like your stock one, and the top one's larger than your stock one. So it slows down the rotation within the water pump, keeps it from cavitating, and it keeps it from flowing as fast inside the radiator. So therefore you stay cooler, because the water has time to stay in the radiator and stay cooler. And I'll show you on the thermostat housing here in a second, so as I finish snugging this up. Okay, nice and snug. So, I don't know if you can see or not. Let's turn you over here a little bit. So this is my upper radiator hose. It's all AN fittings on this car. The thermostat block right here, which is an AN fitting block, underneath there, instead of having a thermostat, we use washers that have different size holes in the center. So you go and you put one in and see where your temperature's at. Say you're running hot and you've got a big hole in there. You think, well, I need to go to a bigger hole. It's not cooling enough. That's actually backwards thinking. You need to go smaller, because you slow the flow down. The water has more time to stay in the radiator, has more time to cool before it goes back into the block. So if you're running too cold, then you go to a bigger one. So you want to stay, you want to keep right around, I like to run probably right around 185 is 185 to 190 is probably about tops of what I want to be is 190. You start getting up above 200. As we all know, things expand with heat, okay? So if you got a piston down in the cylinder and you got, let's say 3 thousandths clearance or 2 thousandths clearance or whatever, and you heat that cylinder up, that piston begins to grow and it takes away your clearance within the cylinder, so you start creating a bunch of drag and wear on your cylinder and your piston, as well as start robbing horsepower. So the cooler you can keep that motor, but in an optimal temper range, the better off you are. So we control that with, like I said, those washers that have different size holes in them. And depending on the radiator you got, if you run an electric fan, you run a manual fan, they all kind of pull different air and act different. So you kind of have to play around with that washer and adjust it till you get your temperature where you want it. There's been times back when I was running Thunder stocks, I had a big old 76 Monte Carlo, I think it was, with a small block 400 in it. I was leading the race. Temperature gauge was at, it was up above 270, and I'm leading the race. We had 4 laps left to go. Well, I didn't have AN hose on that car, and it blew the hose off of the intake, shot all the water out of the car over the windshield onto the cars behind me, and had 4 laps left to go, and I just said to myself, if it's gonna blow, it's gonna blow. So I finished the race. I'm sure by the time I got done with those 4 laps, that car was over 300 degrees, and we won the race. I put it on the trailer the next day, filled it back up with water. I didn't even try to fill it up then, because if you do that, you'll crack the head, crack the block. Just don't even touch it. Just load it up on the trailer. Next day, filled it up. That thing was perfect. We won like 4 more races that year with that car, with that same motor. So at the end of the year, we rebuilt the motor. But as long as the water stays in the car, you're pretty good. But like I said, once that water comes out, it's either go or blow at that point. And so I try to do everything to eliminate that. If you are running a regular hose, ever since then, I double clamp on the intake, double clamp on the top hose on the radiator. The bottom side's not so critical, it doesn't hold as much pressure, but it's still pretty critical. So yeah, there we go with water pump installed, bottom pulley installed. Next we're going to get the radiator in. This is the hose that was with this car, so it went in here and come out to the radiator side. I don't know if you can see that. Come out to the radiator side here. Okay. Well, actually, come underneath because the radiator mounts out here. So it went like this, and this one went to this side. So it was a double pass radiator. The radiator that I went and bought is a double pass as well. But the only thing is, they're on the other side. So this is the new radiator. I still have to fabricate the bracket for the bottom to hold it. So it's going to set down in here. But as you can see, now both my hoses are on the other side. So what I'm going to have to do, the top hose is no big deal. We loosen up the AN and just swing it over to this side. That's no big deal. But the bottom hose, we're going to have to come out. Put this over here so I don't ruin it. We're going to have to come out on the right side of the car, change out this fitting to a 90, bring it over to this side to another 90 into the radiator. It's not a big deal. We do it all the time. The biggest problem with that is that if you hurt this radiator at the track, you're probably not going to have another one for a spare to get you where you got to go. So you better bring a spare with you, or just plan on being done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to keep making more as we progress on this. I want to get, like I said, all the engine stuff all done before I put the body back on. The body go right back on fairly simple. You'll enjoy that video. We're still, I don't know if we're going to run an alternator on this, but we do have all the power steering stuff. We got to get all that put on. The brackets. I think I took that in the shop or in the office there. Yeah, it's all right here. So this is the power steering pump. We got to get on Speedway and order the bracket to mount it to the head. And this is the reservoir. And we got something else in here. I don't remember what else it was I bought. Let's take a look. Oh, these are just turn downs for exhaust. They came with the new headers that I bought. So we got the turn downs for the exhaust, and that was to go with the street stop. This is where we're going to go 180 crossovers. They'll come across and go into one, and there'll be a single exhaust come out through the door. All right, guys. So let's see if I can get you back off here. Yeah, so like I said, hit old Skyler up. Let him know you're thinking about him over at Fleming Family Racing. I want you to also go over to Millertown Motorsports. Tell him you're over there from S.W.E Racing. Tell him you're excited to see the car build. Fleming, man, they've got, I don't know how many cars they're building. They just keep building more and more. I thought I built a lot. Now they build a lot. So anyways, thanks for stopping in. We'll catch you on the next one. See ya.